November the 7th, 2017. You're looking at N2YO. It's a site that's been linked on our website for a long time, and it tracks multiple satellites, but this is KMS-4, or the Korean Military Satellite Dash 4. Launch date was February the 7th, and last year, 2016. The title is Kwangmyeong-sung-4, meaning bright star or lodestar. Keep that in mind. It is an Earth observation satellite launched by North Korea on the 7th of February 2016. The launch happened after North Korea conducted a nuclear test on the 6th of January, and as the United Nations Security Council is deciding on sanctions to be placed on the country following the nuclear test. That's been going on since then. The launch was also timed to celebrate the 74th birthday of the late leader Kim Jong-il on February the 16th. Details on the satellite are not available, though it can be assumed that it is designed and similar to the KMS-3 and 2, which carried an Earth observation camera and 470 megahertz UHF radio payload to transmit patriotic songs. KMS-3 and 2 was reported to be 3-axis stabilized, and its cameras were to be used to collect still image as well as videos. To be downlinked via X-band, the satellite is expected to operate for at least 4 years and fulfill an Earth observation task. Guys, it passes over the United States several times a day. It's a polar orbit, and it means it comes over the poles, over Canada, and then dives over the United States. It goes around our planet about every 94 minutes. Think about that. 45 minutes for half orbit. So you've got about 18 passes per day for this satellite. Again, it gets even deeper than that. Do you know where they got their nuclear material? It's coming out now that Russia accidentally gave them the nuclear material that they have, not only to launch aboard these satellites, but on their nuclear program as far as their missiles. Also, reports are coming out of North Korea, guys, that the mountain has collapsed there in sections where they were digging the underground tunnels. Over 200 people, some say as many as 400 people were killed as they were more or less labored into doing this. And now no trees will grow there since this last collapse. Animals died. The babies are all deformed where he's testing this. But it says, after massive intelligence failures grossly underestimated North Korea's long-range missile capabilities, a number of nuclear weapons, warhead miniaturization, and we're talking about satellites there, and proximity to manufacturing a hydrogen bomb. That's what they tested the last time. The biggest North Korean threat to the U.S. remains unacknowledged. North Korea has 2 satellites in orbit and more to follow that could be nuclear armed for a high-altitude electromagnetic pulse, EMP, attack that would black out North America for months to years, killing millions. And why would it kill millions? When you knock out the power, we have only a few farmers that are self-sufficient in this country. Millions are packed house upon house, which the Bible tells us, woe unto those that build house upon house. They're stacked in cities. There's going to be no refrigeration, no grocery stores, no ATMs, no gas. That's why. And then you're going to have more than millions killed after that just because of the chaos. But it doesn't require an accurate guidance system because the area of effect, having a radius of hundreds of miles, is very large, and it doesn't have to re-enter the atmosphere. No re-entry vehicle is needed because the warhead detonates at a high altitude above the atmosphere. The point appears to be beyond the comprehension of most, including secretaries of defense, the military leadership, and the usual experts who appear in the press. Now, guys, that's changed since this article. The Trump administration is in there. But notice at the bottom, 2 Russian generals warned the EMP Commission in 2004 that Russia's super EMP warhead design was transferred accidentally to North Korea. Really? Accidentally. I wonder if any of that uranium came out of the United States and went through Canada. Now the reports are saying they did and have and are transporting this stuff out of our country via Canada, bypassing laws. Something to think about. The former NASA rocket scientist James Oberg visited North Korea's Sohae space launch base, witnessed elaborate measures undertaken to conceal space launch payloads, and concludes in a 2017 article that the EMP threat from North Korea's satellite should be taken seriously. They have been fears expressed that North Korea might use the satellite to carry a small nuclear warhead into orbit and then detonate it over the U.S. for an EMP strike. These concerns seem extreme and require an astronomical scale of irrationality on the part of the regime. The most frightening aspect is that exactly such a scale of insanity is now evident in the rest of their space program. Now, what they can do with multiple satellites, you can launch a missile into space, not ever let it come back down, and blow it between, say, KMS-4 and KMS-3, and they both go off. But Kim Jong-un has threatened to reduce the United States to ashes through his Thunderbolt program. Now go to our website at BP Earthwatch, scroll down to the bottom. Show you how to do this. We have Tiangong-1 is linked right there between Eyes on the Solar System and the CERN link. And you got ISS tracker. But click here on Tiangong-1. And then what you're going to do is come up here and change that. Tiangong-1, that's another video, and it's the Chinese Heavenly Palace that's out of control and is expected to fall to Earth within the next 2 months. Different video. But when you check out this KMS-4, it's coming over the poles now as I'm doing the video. About to go over Greenland, come back down into the Pacific Ocean. Just a couple hours ago, it was passing over Arizona, coming out down through Texas. That's just how this thing works. Every 94 minutes, it orbits our planet, just about 18 times a day. Notice to the right, your speed in miles is 4.73 miles a second, and your altitude is 309.74 miles. That goes up and down all day. You'll see it get to a bottom, and then it rise back up. Because it's not a round orbit around our planet, it's an elliptical. So when it goes into the outer edges of the elliptical orbit, you see the altitude rise. But now you can go and look at where it will be this afternoon, and you can see it dropping right across the Great Lakes, coming out down through Florida. And again, you've got 18 passes a day, and there's not a day that goes by, guys, that it does not cross the United States several times. And you've got Russia admitting that they've let this material get to them back as early as 2004. And look how far they've come now. And then in 2017, you got the scientists saying they have the capabilities. So I'm very sure that our military knows way more than what I'm just basically pointing out on things you can find on the website. And I know that they're watching it very closely, and we have space weapons too. Let's put it that way. For the very same thing they're doing, or to take something out like that. And so we just hope that everyone's aware, and I'm sure our military's all over this with the threat with North Korea. And they can't talk about it, and I don't blame them. And if I knew anything more than I could tell you, I wouldn't tell you. We're an Air Force family. But guys, keep an eye on this. Also, this evening, you guys that have not voted in New Jersey and in up into Virginia, guys, get out and vote. It's neck and neck according to the polls. And we need to get this Republican in office because the guy is Hillary Jr. Must be her brother-in-law or something, or Bush's, the way he acts and the way that he's acted throughout this entire campaign. We've got to get these gun control liberals out of office. Also, if you have not gotten out and voted in Virginia and New Jersey, you need to do it. We've got the main problem with the Democrats, it seems, is they care nothing about our country, and I'll tell you why. Because the big businesses and the big media, Silicon Valley, things like that, they want migration to come in because it's cheap labor. You understand what I'm saying? It's cheap labor. It knocks out the American jobs. The politicians want it because it's a vote. They don't care if they rob and steal and have gangs going around, shooters running over people whatever it is. They don't care about that as long as they can stay in power with the vote, and then again, the manufacturing complex, cheap labor. That's all they want. Look at why they want gun control. So there will be no uprising against their tyranny. That's all it is. It's not about protecting you or me. The worst crimes are committed either in a rural church like in Texas, where everyone's just trying to enjoy Sunday and worship, or they're in a gun control area like Manhattan, and the number one place in the America, Chicago. You can't carry a gun there, only the criminals. And that they love that. So get out and vote, guys. Do not miss your opportunity to push this corrupt system off the edge of the cliff. It's a heads up. Be safe.